Basically, Thinkorswim scanners tonight. The purpose of scanners is to basically be able to find something to look at. It doesn't tell you when to buy it. It doesn't tell you how much to pay for it. It doesn't tell you what it's going to do. It just helps you find things. It could be for a various amount of reasons, whether you're looking for option strategies, whether you're looking for earnings plays, whether you're looking for cheap options. No matter what it is, you can find it and then analyze it, however you want. Um, so pretty much every platform has scanners. Webull has scanners. I don't think Robinhood has scanners. I'm sure all the major ones have scanners. I just prefer Thinkorswim because you can tailor it however you want. Um, and like I said, you can scan for whatever you want. And we'll kind of go into there. So one question is when to scan. So there's one of these scans I'll show you guys that runs all the time. And it basically sends a notification to my watch through my phone. Um, Basically, it sends a notification to my watch through my phone whenever there's a change, and that one is a cheap option scanner, and I'll go over that one. Also, first and foremost, like I said, Thinkorswim, me, anybody is not going to tell you when to buy. It's not, buy this now and make money. It's not really how it works. It's just a way to narrow down a search so that you can analyze it. There's a lot of ways you can find something like earnings. That's the first one we're going to do. Tim Pool puts out a bunch of good stuff all the time. There's Earnings Whispers, there's The Street, lots of different sources for earnings. But this way, you can always have this available to you. So the first real thing to do is get familiar with Thinkorswim. There's a lot of stuff in Thinkorswim. This is kind of the main screen up here on this scan tab. I have my Thinkorswim set up maybe differently than everybody else, I don't know. But we'll go over this stuff here on the left in a bit. The first thing you want to find is this scan tab. And then from scan, you can do stock hacker, option hacker, spread hacker, spread book, all that stuff. First thing we're looking for is stock hacker. I'll delete all these. So first thing you want to do is create a scan query. And you can name this whatever you want. So we'll just call this Chicago Options Trader earnings. And you can add some filters in here. I don't like this little screen. I just like it to be in here. So what we're looking for, we want to scan in all stocks. We want everything. And intersect with and exclude. I'll go over theirs later. But the first thing you want to do is add a filter. So if you're looking for stocks, you want to add a stock filter. Some of this is common sense after you do it once, but I do understand Thinkorswim is overbearing sometimes. So I'm going to add a couple of them. You'll see why. So basically, each one of these lines is essentially a search criteria. Just like you would search in Google or do like and or if you're familiar with the way some searching works. All these are just filters to find what you're looking for. The first thing we're looking for is a stock whose last price is $5. And the reason I set that is just to not start with penny stocks. And then we're going to go to $200 max. Again, you can change these numbers whenever you want. I made this search up because I think it kind of applies to what most people are trading. And the next thing we're going to look for is volume. we want volume 500,000 or more, and you'll see why in a second. So over here on the right side, it'll show you how many matches. So basically your lowest number will always be the most amount of matches. So obviously 4,200 is too many. So we need to narrow that down some. And with earnings plays, it's important to find stuff that is actually changing. So we're looking for a net change. That's way too much. So we want something that's already kind of moving. So we're looking at something that's moved 50 cents or max, whatever. And then the study that we're looking for, because we're only interested in earnings. Where was that at? Corporate actions, earnings. Has an earnings announcement anytime in the next, we'll say 15 bars. So this 15 bars correlates to this. So this is 1 day. So 15 bars 1 day, 15 days, roughly 2 weeks. So what this will give us is any stock with its last price between $5 $200, with a volume of 500,000 or more, with a net change of 50 cents or more, and has earnings in the next 2 weeks. And these are all stocks. We're scanning in stocks. We're not intersecting or excluding any. I'll go over those in a minute. And we're searching stocks. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I'll talk about that in a minute when we go to an option hacker. But for now, let's hit scan. So the first thing you'll notice, there's a lot. This is showing 50. We could bring back 200. Scan. And we got a lot of names here. So these are all the stocks that are going to have earnings in the next 15 days. So one way to narrow this down even more is look at volume, because we want things that are going to move. So we look up here, and we have a lot of volume in these top ones here. B Square, Aurora Cannabis, GM, Cisco, Walt Disney. And you can click on in Thinkorswim if you're not familiar with it. You can click on these little buttons here, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. 21121 aftermarket. So if you find one that's interesting, you can basically click on it, right click, add to watch list. So what if you don't have a watch list? Okay. In your watch list, you can right click on this section, this watch list section. Create watch list. Earnings. We'll just call it earnings for now. Where did Disney go? Add to watch list. Earnings. So now what we'll do is we'll just add a couple of these. We'll go MGM. No way, but we'll add that. So now you have a couple stocks here. So we can click on Disney. We can look at it a little bit. I'm not a big fan of Thinkorswim's analytical tools. I know some people use them. But what I would do is then take this watch list and I would just go to TradingView and analyze them that way. So before I go any further, are there any questions up until this point? I know I did that first one kind of quick, but if there's any questions I want to know now before we go to the next thing. I know Moni doesn't have any questions because I already set hers up.
Hey, it's Monica. How do you make those little boxes come in and out?
Which little boxes? These here?
Yes.
So there's a little carrot right here, a little expander right
No, no, the ones to the left. Do you see how you have them stacked up? How do you add or delete them?
there. You talking about this stuff on the left side?
Roger, yeah.
So that's all dependent on how you set up your Thinkorswim. Um, I mean, most of the stuff I don't really use it honestly. Live news, Trader
Yeah,
TV.
I
Um,
don't use it either.
a lot of this stuff you can actually get rid of it. I only use Thinkorswim for a few things, and I just don't look at the rest of it. Um, I don't trade.
Same.
What's up?
Same. So I just leave it because I don't know how to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean you can. So the cool thing about Thinkorswim is you can customize all this stuff. If you take the time to go in and you can move a lot of these boxes around, you can get rid of boxes, add new boxes. Um, it is very customizable. I only use this for a few things, and the things that I don't care about, I don't even look at them. Um,
In the upper right-hand corner, there's a setup wheel. In there, you can start adjusting how many windows you have and all kinds of fun things. So
yeah.
it's 100% customizable to whatever you want to do. You just got to spend some time messing around with it. Like my Thinkorswim looks nothing like Chris's does, but obviously he's got a great way to get the information and other people other ways.
So there is a really good tutorial by In the Money by Adam from In the Money on YouTube, and I think it's like 2 hours long, and he talks about just setting up Thinkorswim. Um, if you want to use this to trade and you want to get way deep in the weeds, I recommend you watch it because he goes over everything, and we just don't have time. Anything else?
I love my scanner.
I'm sure you do. So, so the benefit, I guess, the overall benefit of these scanners is you can really separate what you want and what you don't want. Um, if you want to trade high value stocks, you just move this over or just adjust this number. If you only want stocks that are 100 to 200, you can adjust this hit scan and you're going to get some pricey stocks. Um, and I mean, Walt Disney, Moderna, AMAT, Walmart. The problem is then when you go to trade these stocks, those options are also going to be expensive. Um, obviously, options give us the opportunity to buy expensive stocks for not a whole lot of money and still turn a profit. Um, but the goal here is to get people that are just starting out on stocks and options to feel comfortable doing that and buying $4, aka $400 options, uh, is not the goal. So once you have your scan set up, you can go in here. It's this middle box that Monica could not find for about 20 minutes. Um, save scan
Don't
query.
blonde hair.
Save scan query, and you can save it as whatever you want. We'll call it COD earnings test. So you save it. Cool. It's in there forever. Now if you lose this, let's say you're being crazy and you delete and you're like, oh crap, I forgot what that setting was and it was awesome. I love it. Load scan query, personal earnings test, and it's all back the way it was.
We actually couldn't see that on your screen, but I know what it looks like. So you go to the three. Show them again. Put your. There you go.
It's right here. This box right here. Um, this brings up a pop-up window that's save, load, or scan or share. And you can actually share these scan queries. You can save them or load them. It might not bring up the other windows when you click on these things, but um, you basically click on load. You can save it whatever you want, and then load personal, and then the name you saved it as. Alright, so we're going to delete these. Alright, any questions about what we went over thus far? Alright. So the next one I want to talk about is just cheap options. Okay. People who are starting out in options, my recommendation is to find cheap options to build confidence and not lose $500 if your option goes to 0.01. You can buy options for 15 cents, 10 cents, 15 bucks, 10 bucks, whatever. So the goal here is to go in Option Hacker. So we want to scan in where are we at? Under W weeklies. Again, intersect with none, exclude none. We want to get rid of that filter. Add. We're looking for options. 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 So options we're looking for days to expiration. We'll say 0.5 with a max of 21. So the option we want the last price to be 0.15, right? Because that's going to return options that are around $15. And then we want the max to be 1.25. So that'll only return options that are expiring in the next 3 weeks that are $15 to $125. And then we want volume. We want something that's actually tradable. So we'll say 10,000, which isn't a ton, but it'll give us something. I'm sorry, this one needs to be volume. Volume. And
When he's finished, everybody should screenshot what it looks like because I screwed it up.
Yep. And then we're looking for options, right? We're in the options hacker, looking for options. We can hit scan. And this will return a plethora of things. So just like the first time, I just like to sort on volume. You can sort on whatever you want. You can add more things in here. You can do whatever you want. But you just start looking at stuff, right? IW inputs, those were not doing so good. You can look at the cost. So this one, XLE, it's up 121%. So these numbers, this 0.67, 121%, this represents since it would have shown up on this scanner. So basically this does the same thing as the first scanner. It just returns results. You can analyze them further and kind of go from there. One thing this does give you that I personally like is all these categories over here, delta and theta. You can move these around. You know, if this is more important to you over here, we can put these over here. So if you don't know, delta and theta are the other ones matter, but these delta and theta are the ones I look at first. If something has a low theta, it's going to lose less value over time, and if it has a high delta, it is going to gain more value per dollar change over time. So this one right here, GM, it's up 83%. This option is up 83%. It has some good volume. It's not going to lose much over time. 9 cents a day, $9 a day. and 33 cents per dollar change. So I'm sorry, 9 cents per option price per day, and 33 cents per dollar move. So that's a pretty good option right here. 19 Feb call, GM 100 or 60 call. So then you go and analyze it. You look at it, you see if it looks right. I tell you right now, that's probably a good option right there. So I said I was going to talk about these later. So scan in weeklies. So let's just say all stocks scan. I don't know why I changed that. All right. So scan in weeklies intersect with, right now I have it none. But let's say you like you only like healthcare. Okay. Pharmaceuticals. Exclude analyst downgrades. All right, now we're getting picky. So now this list right here is weekly options with all our criteria only in pharmaceuticals, and we don't want to see the ones that the Thinkorswim analysts have downgraded. So I'm sure you notice, those who have been following along the past couple days, you should not be surprised that SNDL is on this list. These options right here are making people money. Any questions on those? And the cool things about these scanners is you can play around with them, right? So clear that, clear that. We want to look at NASDAQ 100. It's got all the popular names. But the benefit is this is giving you, instead of just saying, here's all the options in the world, these are just narrowing down your search. That's what these searches scanners are doing. Narrowing down your search. So if anybody subscribes to, some of those penny stock websites or options, I forget some of the classic ones that give you signals, but this is all those people do. They have these scanners, and the difference is they don't really even analyze them. A lot of them will send out these signals, AMD 219 100 calls, because it showed up on their scanner, and that's it. It's up to you to look at whether they're going to be profitable. If you look at something like the volume in these Apple puts, this is quite a bit of volume. And it's weird to see these Apple puts when a lot of people are thinking Apple's going to go up. Maybe not now because they got bad news from Hyundai and Kia. But you can look at these that have a little bit of net change. Tesla, 1,000 call. I forgot who was talking about that the other day. Let's see, I talked about that. One thing you can do, alert when scan results change. So you may or may not be able to see this window. But over here, it brings up alert when scan results change. And you can have this sent to your phone if you have a Thinkorswim account. And then anytime a new symbol is added to your search criteria, it will send you every minute or every hour, whatever you set it to. It'll just alert you, so then you can go look at it, and you don't have to miss anything. That is pretty much it. There's a whole lot to this that you can do. There's a spread hacker. Yeah, basically stock hacker, option hacker, spread hacker. These two, stock hacker and option hacker, are really the ones I mess with. I play around with the spread hacker, but honestly, if you're looking at good options, you can turn any of those into a spread.